Bitter squash is not the kind of vegetable that tries to please everyone at first bite. In fact, my first childhood reaction was probably very honest. Yuck, too bitter. I grew up in southern China, where bitter squash is a familiar summer vegetable, valued for its flavor, its cooling quality, and its long reputation as both food and home remedy. But for many children, that first taste can feel like a small betrayal. Why would adults cook something so green, so beautiful, and then make it taste like that? And yet, as often happens with childhood foods, I learned to love it very soon. The bitterness became refreshing, almost cleansing. It was no longer something to escape from, but something to appreciate. In this video, I'll show you how we grow bitter squash in our garden, how we cook and preserve it, what we have learned from its vines, flowers, seeds, and fruits, and why this very bitter vegetable has become one of our quiet summer companions. Welcome to With the Garden. Here in Los Angeles, in a cozy yard, I'm learning and sharing as I go. I hope you'll grow along with me. Let's begin. For those who know bitter squash, also called bitter melon or bitter gourd, its uses are many. In Chinese cooking, it can be stir-fried by itself as a simple vegan dish, cooked with egg, paired with meat, simmered into soup, steamed, or made into stuffed dishes. Its bitterness softens with cooking, especially when balanced with garlic, egg, fermented black beans, pork, or a little salt. Some people blanch it first to reduce the sharpness. Some embrace it fully. I think I belong somewhere in the middle, respectful but not reckless. Our first year growing it was a real success, almost suspiciously successful. We bought a packet of seeds online, sowed a couple, and finally kept 2 plants. Those 2 vines produced far more bitter squash than we could eat fresh. We gave some to friends who already loved bitter squash. For neighbors who had never eaten it before, we did not try. We sliced some fruits and dried them in the sun. The dried slices became useful for tea and other home remedies. In Chinese tradition, bitter squash is often associated with clearing summer heat, supporting appetite, and bringing balance during hot weather. Its leaves are also used in some places, though we mainly grow it for the fruit. The plant itself surprised me. I knew the vegetable, but I had never paid close attention to the living vine. Bitter squash is a warm season annual in our climate, a member of the cucumber and squash family. It begins slowly from seedling, almost making you wonder whether it will make it. Then, once the weather warms and the roots settle in, the vine starts to climb with quiet determination. It is not a massive vine like loofah or pumpkin, but it is persistent. Give it a trellis, and it will find its way upward. The leaves are tender and deeply lobed, fresh green, delicate, and beautiful. The tendrils curl and reach like small hands searching for support. The flowers are small, yellow, and surprisingly fragrant. That fragrance was one of our discoveries after growing it ourselves. I had eaten bitter squash for years, but I had never known its flowers had such charm. The fruits hang like little green sculptures. Depending on the variety, they can be short and plump or long and tapered, with a ridged, bumpy surface that looks almost carved. The flesh is crisp when young, juicy when cooked, and unmistakably bitter. When left too long, the fruit turns yellow-orange and splits open, revealing red-coated seeds inside. The red coating of the seeds is sweet and quite tasty, beloved by children, almost like candy in old days. That is also how we collected seeds for future planting, by removing the red coating and drying the seeds. Even the seeds are beautiful, flat and patterned, like tiny pieces of carved art. Bitter squash likely originated in Africa and spread widely through Asia, where it became especially important in South, Southeast, and East Asian cooking. In China, it is known as 苦瓜, literally bitter melon. Its bitterness gives it cultural meaning beyond the kitchen. It can suggest endurance, discipline, and the familiar saying 苦尽甘来. After bitterness comes sweetness. That phrase belongs to life as much as food. Maybe that is why adults keep serving it to children. In the garden, bitter squash likes warmth, sun, and steady moisture. We grow it in rich, well-drained soil with compost, and we give it a trellis from the beginning. It benefits from regular watering, especially once flowers and fruits appear, but it does not like sitting in soggy soil. In our yard, it grows best when the days are warm and the nights are no longer cool. Our experience has varied year by year. After that first abundant season, some years only one plant survived into a rather weak vine and gave us just a couple of fruits. Other years, we harvested more. Since summer also brings us squash, tomatoes, cucumbers, loofah, and other generous vegetables, we never felt bitter toward the bitter squash. If it did well, wonderful. If it struggled, we still had plenty of alternatives. We have not had serious pest problems with it, other than occasional stunted growth. But like other cucurbits, bitter squash can attract aphids, spider mites, whiteflies, cucumber beetles, and fungal diseases such as powdery mildew or downy mildew. Good airflow, trellising, morning watering, healthy soil, and regular observation help a lot. Nutritionally, bitter squash is low in calories and offers vitamin C, fiber, folate, minerals, and antioxidant plant compounds. It has also been studied for possible effects on blood sugar, but it should be enjoyed as food, not treated as a replacement for medical care. This year we have 2 plants climbing the trellis, and so far they look promising. Their leaves are fresh, their vines are reaching, and I have already harvested several times while watching more small yellow flowers emerge. Every season, bitter squash teaches the same lesson in a slightly different way. Bitterness can be useful, beauty can be quiet, and patience often climbs before it fruits. Do you grow bitter squash, bitter melon, or bitter gourd in your garden? And if you cook it, do you try to reduce the bitterness, or do you enjoy it just as it is? Thank you for watching. If this was helpful or inspiring, please give it a like, share, subscribe, and tell me what you're growing in the comments. See you next time in the garden.